Hello guys and welcome back to another excuse me, I wasn't ready, I hadn't cleared my throat. Hello and welcome back to another video, a weird one, an absolute weird world that we're living in right now. So many people here in the chat as well. It's good to see so many friendly faces already. Who we got? I've got the chat alongside me right here. We've got Louis here, we've got Nathan, we've got Alster, of course, we've got Hilokomi Konda, we've got Adam Whiteman, we've got Abdallah, Manchester City fan, and everyone else. A weird time today. An absolutely weird time. Basically, if you're obviously just joining as you are right now, Scott Carson's going to be playing in goal against Leicester City, which is very, very interesting. And all of a sudden, Ederson and Gabriel Jesus have been banned by Brazil and FIFA. It's a very confusing one to get your head around. I'm going to jump over to this new little scene I've got over here so we can have a little bit of a look at what's going on over here. Hopefully this will work. So basically, as you can see here, to build up City Extra for the tweet, Man City will be unable to select Ederson and Gabriel Jesus against Leicester on Saturday after the Brazilian Association asked World Football's governing body to enforce rules preventing players from playing. And this comes from Paul Joyce as well over at the Times. I'll click this now, click these tweets. Hopefully you can see them on screen now, basically. 5 players are set to be without Brazilian players between September the 10th and 14th. And Everton can select Richarlison due to good relations with the Brazilian FA. Apparently that's because they released him for the Olympics, so they like him for that, basically. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's very intriguing, and it's all a little bit weird, isn't it? It is fancy, Alster, by the way. Yeah, I've been. Everything should be working a lot better now. By the way, my streams, everything should be as smooth as Scott Carson's reflexes. But it's weird. Essentially, what this is all about is FIFA have a rule that gets invoked if a nation requests it, where a player is banned for 5 days if a club refuses to release a player for international duty, which is mad. It's absolutely mad. But basically, right now, obviously, the world is affected by the pandemic. If you don't understand English politics right now, some countries are on a red list. Which basically means that if a player goes to Brazil, they come back, they have to isolate for how long is it in the chat? Basically, is it like 2 weeks, something like that? So basically, City were like, nope, fuck that. But they are not isolating. They are not going anywhere because that would be absolutely catastrophic for us for very obvious reasons. Because, 2 weeks without a player is an awful lot. So basically, Manchester City have refused that, basically. And I understand why they refused them going. But as a result, they've thrown the toys out the pram massively, Brazil, and said, no, you should be able to do this, despite them Brazil obviously kicking off against Argentina and not letting players play. Legand's with the super chat, big up Legand, my main man Legand, says, but surely Gabi and Eddie going away, they would have had the same mess that Argentina had with the players playing in England. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You're right. They would have. I mean, the Argentinian players, the Brazil, if you've ever been following as well, the Brazil authorities walked literally on pitch. Big love to Legan, by the way, for super chat. Legan 456. What a fucking legend. Brazil's authorities walked on the pitch and took off loads of Argentina players because they hadn't isolated. It's exactly the same principle. Exactly the same principle. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shitstorm. Yeah, I think Alf has just said as well in the chat, it's 10 days for a red list. So that kind of makes an awful lot of sense there. Subcout's not pulling through for some reason today. Look at it there in the corner. I haven't got 0 subscribers, I'm pretty certain. Oh, well, that's annoying. Don't know why it's doing it. But this is all genuinely nuts. It's crazy. And it's politics, basically. It's just politics. So, because the Brazilian players weren't released by the clubs, and it doesn't affect just Manchester City, Thiago Silva as well, Fred apparently as well. Alisson as well, meaning Liverpool have got to play Adrian. It means basically that they've asked FIFA to suspend these players for 5 days, which is a rule which FIFA can impose on certain players. So we can impose on clubs if they fail to release players for international duty, which is absolutely crazy, and it's ridiculous, to be honest. It's ridiculous. But that's where we're at. Guys, if I could ask you to like the video, it would be absolutely wonderful. Big up everyone watching as well. Is this all running smoothly, by the way? Hopefully it will do. It feels a lot smoother these days, and I've got my new Mac Mini. Should be good. But this is obviously a bit of a blow, because what it means now what it means now is we haven't got Zack Steffen. Zack Steffen currently, as well, is recovering from COVID, which obviously isn't ideal, man. It isn't ideal. Like Zack Steffen out, Ederson out. It means Scott Carson. Scott Carson, the GOAT, the legend, is going to be playing a goal, which is interesting, to say the least. I mean, I love Scott Carson. Don't get me wrong. But it is a big loss. I mean, to me, the bigger loss potentially is Gabriel Jesus' form. I mean, it's not the biggest loss, if we're being honest. I mean, it's the goalkeepers, but Gabriel Jesus' form is fantastic at the moment, isn't it? Which is, it's a massive, massive shame that we're going to have to essentially just sacrifice Jesus for a game or two. We have got the squad, thankfully, but it is what it is. Another super chat, which is from the legend once again as Lagan, says we lose Ederson and Gabby, United lose Fred. All the United fans that I've seen are very happy about that, losing Fred. So we've been fucked over there big time, which is a massive shame. But yeah, that's where we're at, unfortunately. Absolutely. It's a shit storm, but that is the shit storm that we've had to deal with, unfortunately. And also, there's a super chat from Big Johnny, says, don't care, we got Big Scotty Carson. That is the energy I want. Big energy from Big Johnny. Big love, man. Wonderful stuff from Big Johnny. I like it, man. I like it. Everyone's saying it feels smooth as well. I'm good to hear that. It's good to hear that. I'm still basically... if you've ever worked in this kind of industry before, you have to transfer everything over from a laptop. So I think it takes ages. So I've still not fully got everything over, including I haven't got the PSD for all the members over there transferred, but I will do, and I'll get it updated very soon, I promise you. But yeah, we got Big Scotty Carson. Maybe this is a chance for Big Scotty Carson to become something of a legend, man. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? He has a game of his career or something like that. Recall Bazuna for one game. That's not the worst idea, Chilled. The one thing we've got, by the way, is that the EDS are playing at the same time. So, like, the EDS... that means we haven't got enough goalkeepers to back up. Carlton J just said in the chat, it's fake news, didn't travel. That is the point entirely, Carlton. The point is because they didn't travel and their clubs refused them, Brazil have kicked off and got FIFA to ban them, which they're allowed to do if clubs refuse international players being released, because FIFA are like, no, all we've got is internationals. So it's not fake news at all. It's all very true, unfortunately. It's very, very true. So we haven't got any goalkeepers. Does anyone fancy it? And Alf's just asked in the chat, hypothetically, what happens if we ignore them and they play? If we ignore them, there's a potential, apparently, for FIFA ruling the game as a default 3-0 loss, which is insane. Don't know if it'll get to that, but I've got a feeling right now... that they'll just accept this happening, accept it, because... I think they probably feel better the devil you know and all that kind of stuff. Where they don't really feel like it's worth competing against this, because it's either 10 days quarantine or whatever, or 5 days of this. They've probably taken the 5 days. The only good thing is Gabriel Jesus and Ederson will be back for the RB Leipzig game, which is pretty decent, man. So it's not the end of the world, basically. It isn't the end of the world. Kyle for goalkeeper. Is Kyle Walker fit? Kyle Walker is fit indeed. And maybe he'll be the backup. Maybe he'll be the backup choice there. It's weird though. It's weird. But this is the kind of shit we've got to deal with in this COVID world at the moment, where things like this keep happening randomly, and we're dealing with all this kind of stuff. On a legal ground standpoint, what grounds do we have? Said Alster. Probably not a lot. We probably don't, by the way. So the reason I would say that we probably don't have any legal standpoint is because... is essentially basically, I think we've publicly admitted that we weren't going to release players. Do you remember all the clubs came out at the start of the season and did a pact about not releasing players? I think it's pretty obvious that we've clearly said that we're going to not do this. So everyone knows it, and it's in the rules quite clearly. If you refuse to do it, this is what happens. I think maybe they helped if something would happen because of COVID and shit like that, but it hasn't happened. Don't spam, by the way, in the chat, people. No spamming. If you spam, you'll get timed out. So, yeah, I don't think we've got much of a standpoint, unfortunately. I wonder if there'll be some kind of, like, I do wonder if they'll chat or something like that and they'll try and work something out, because usually these stories evolve. As it is right now, I actually think this is probably going to happen. I think they will be suspended just because it seems to be very... it's an easy decision for them, basically. What's up with Steffen? Asked Fresh Kid Stephen. He's got COVID, unfortunately, mate, so he's having to isolate. Hopefully he's okay, but he's got COVID, so basically he's just, he's isolating, so he's not involved either. So we haven't got our 2 first-choice keepers, which isn't ideal. It isn't ideal at all. There's a super chat just coming through, which I think I've just missed. Lagan saying, still more games tonight, more injuries coming. Mate, don't even go there. I mean, that would be absolutely catastrophic, wouldn't it? But at the same time, would I be surprised? Probably not, mate. Probably not. I'm hoping that doesn't come to fruition, but what even surprises anymore? I would not have been the slightest bit surprised. The international breaks, I fucking hate them. I absolutely hate them, and this is why, really. I guess stuff like this happening all the time. I'm going to jump back over to the articles and find the tweets and stuff like that about it, because it does feel. I do wonder if there's more to this. If we'll see, it develop a little bit. Who was this tweeting about it? Let me find it. It was Simon Stone from the BBC. Let me get his tweets up as well. There's loads going on from Simon Stone. Let me go over to there. 1 second. So Simon Stone's been tweeting that Brazilian authorities accept Everton release for Charlton for Olympic duty this summer and waive the right to invoke the rule. To underline the rule exists, it is the right of any individual country to trigger it. Affects 8 Premier League clubs this weekend, possibly more to come. Let's have a look. Is he tweeting anything about it? Basically, it affects Liverpool, Man City, Leeds, Man United and Chelsea. Thiago Silva and Fred can't play on Tuesday either. Richarlison can play for Everton versus Burnley on Monday. Basically Richarlison apparently is because they have a good relationship because of the Olympics. Of course, clubs may feel that missing 1 or 2 games is better than 10-day isolation plus loss of training players would have it if they've been released. That's true. So basically, they don't if they're isolating, they can't train. So the clubs might, as Simon just pointed out on the tweet, they might feel that this is a better idea. Actually, they'll just take the hit on this. But then we've got, another situation coming up in November, so we'll see how it goes then as well. What else did he say? Brazil can do this because they selected players who are not subsequently released by their clubs. As shown on Sunday's situation in Brazil is delicate to say the least. Of course, Sunday we saw the authorities coming on the pitch and dragging Argentinian players off because they hadn't isolated, which is bizarre. Uruguay didn't ask for the rule to be triggered. Villa and Tottenham released players anyway. Lots of arguments on all sides. Very interesting. Early response from Premier League clubs to Brazil just is one of defiance. They are trying to find a solution that will clear the players to play this weekend. Plus, don't think it's right to prevent them doing so under circumstances. Big question is how far they will push it. It's going to get very messy. For what it's worth. You've got the Brazilian, Brazil is a crazy country right now. Bolsonaro leading over there. I won't go into politics too much, but the guy seems like a fucking absolute arse. And essentially, their country, it's all a bit crazy over there right now. It's 5 days, Joshua, not 5 games, thankfully. I do wonder genuinely if the players have come out and said initially that it was their decision, if they could have done anything. But I think the clubs were so public and so vocal about the decision that I'm not really sure if it can happen, unfortunately. Leeds play Liverpool. What happens if both play Ederson, Rafinha? Can't give both teams a free loss, can they? That's a good point, man. I have no idea. I have no idea the answer to that. That's a power play, isn't it? Maybe they'll deduct some points. I don't know. That would be very, very interesting. So it's September the 10th to the 14th, by the way, for our players. It's very strange, isn't it? It's very, very strange. But this is where we're at now. This is where we're at. It's all very, very fucking weird. Senzik, I love you, Galatasaray. Love, but please give it a rest, man. No one's here to watch you just spam the word Galatasaray, pal. So you've been timed out for that, unfortunately. So we're going to have to start Scott Carson. Looks like Scott Carson is going to be playing in goal. How is everyone feeling about that? I know we joke about him. I'm sure he's functional. I'm sure he's functional as a keeper. But he's not, obviously, Steffen. He is a lot older. He's not Ederson, of course, not even close to Ederson. The problem we've got, and let me just double check the EDS fixtures, but I'm pretty certain they're playing as well. Let's have a look. The EDS are playing on... they're playing on Saturday against Chelsea, and the Academy are playing on Saturday as well at the same time. We haven't got a goalkeeper, man. So who are we going to play? We can't play Maybe we're going to have to play like an under-15s goalkeeper for the under-18s and an under-18s for the EDS. And the EDS, I think it's Mickey Van Sass as the backup. So who the fuck's... I'll get my gloves on. We'll run into the pitch and we'll sort it all out together. Who knows, man? Who knows? It's absolutely crazy. Ban for what? For not releasing international players, mate. That's as simple as that, Matty. Get Richard Wright in there. I met him the other day, by the way, Richard Wright. I had a chat with him, and he was a lovely bloke. Very true story. A very nice guy. I've met him had a good old chat with him. Coincidentally, for what it's worth. So James Trafford's on loan, isn't he? Hasn't he gone on loan, James Trafford? Bazzuno's out on loan as well. They're all on loan. That's the problem. Like a few weeks ago, we've had loads of great goalkeepers. So haven't they all gone on loan? So yeah, it's not good. It's not good. What's Wayne Shaw up to these days? We haven't got many options, which is genuinely a bit of a problem. Yeah, so Bazzuno and is Slicker still here? Or is he injured? Is he not injured, Kieran Slicker? I feel like he is. I mean, let me look at the EDS results. Let me check the EDS results and see who's been on the bench of the goal. Oh, look at that. Man City's site doesn't even show the teams. What's the point in that? Premier League 2 results. I'm going to try and look at the Premier League 2 results because that'll show the actual teams. Man City's don't seem to show the teams. On the bench, we had in goal, we had for the EDS the other day, Kieran Slicker. Okay. Then we had Mickey Van Sass. Okay, so Kieran Slicker or Van Sass will be on the bench. Kieran Slicker's fine at the moment. And now Shay Given, get him back. Get Joe Hart back. Kyle Walker return. I don't know, Alex. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if maybe if the emergency loan would happen if we didn't have Scott Carson as well, but I don't think they'd allow it. Could the Premier League potentially contest this by FIFA? Potentially could, man. For what it's worth, the rumours are, the early response is that the clubs are going to challenge this, so we'll have to see how it goes. James Trafford's on loan, mate, at Accrington Stanley, I think, isn't he? Okay, the wife's in the chat, of course she is. Nicola McInerney. The wife's in the chat. I can't keep repeating why the ban, but it's essentially, I'm sure everyone else can tell you about right now. So basically, all the players involved are Alisson, Fabinho, Roberto Firmino, Gabriel Jesus, Thiago Silva, Fred, and Rafinha. That's a lot of players involved, man. It's a lot of players involved. Look, it's going to escalate ahead of the... obviously, the next international break is November. We'll have to see how that escalates as well. Guys, by the way, 400 people watching and only 100 likes. What are you playing at, man? What are you playing at? Get those likes up to at least 200. It'd be massively appreciated. Tell him in the chat, Nicola, to get the likes up. You know, you can do it. You can do it. Yeah, the Brazil are on the red list for travel. That's why, John. That's why we didn't send them out. But obviously, because if they came back, they wouldn't be able to play for us. But then, oh God, yeah, the October international break as well. God, I hate international breaks right now. And of course, as well, next season as well, we've got the World Cup as well in Qatar. Great decisions all around, FIFA, and obviously you've got the now saying the 2-year World Cup stuff, which is a load of nonsense as well. Nicola, listen to Nicola in the chat. She's telling you all to like the video, and she's an absolute nutter. So I wouldn't challenge Nicola, the wife there. She'll batter you. Where is she? I mean, just look at that. Look at that aggression. That's a mod as well, saying that in the corner. So just to summarise for those involved, the players are banned because Manchester City didn't release them for international duty, which is against FIFA's laws. And as a result of that, Brazil have pissed their pants, which is probably the best way you can put it, and gone, oh, it's not fair, FIFA. You should go and ban them. And unfortunately, Brazil have a right to automatically invoke that if FIFA agree that they've stopped the players coming for a 5-day ban, because you're not allowed to stop players going to international duty because they're all under FIFA regulations. So basically, FIFA have banned us at Brazil's request for not releasing international players, which is fucking ridiculous. But there we are. Bye, beautiful. Nicola's going. The wife's off then. She's gone. Cheeky, love the like button to Girona. Well, it's back now. It's back. Moonbeam in net. Maybe. It isn't fair, Thomas Riquelme, because basically, like, what I will say is, I mean, look how the Brazilians treated the Argentinians, the players you hadn't isolated. They're being absolutely pissy little bitches. The way the world is right now. Look, Brazil wouldn't be on the red list if you didn't have a fucking insane dictator of a leader who seems to just be throwing everyone under the bus who lives there. You know, he took this whole thing seriously. So it's as simple as that, if you want to be honest, you know. Yeah, exactly. As Alsa just said, how can Brazil deport Argentinian players from England for travelling but ban their own players for not travelling? It doesn't make any sense. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like, no, we want our players here, but we'll ban Argentinian players from travelling. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. So it's like, no, they're allowed in because they're Brazilian and we're like, even regardless of the travel rules. It's totally unfair. And they played themselves entirely. You can't kick off Martinez and so on and all the other Argentinian players and Buendia. It's very corrupt. It's insanely corrupt. And these players would have had to isolate for 14 days in Brazil before playing games, which time they missed all of Brazil's games. Exactly again. But they wouldn't have done that, man. They wouldn't have done it. It's a bizarre thing. Like, basically, their players are meant to come over, but then without isolating. But Argentina's players are allowed to come over and not isolate, man. It's it's very, very stupid. For what it's worth, Lewis Crocker, yeah, it is a joke about Richarlison, but I think they agreed a long time ago that Richarlison wasn't coming to this anyway because of the Olympics. I think they agreed in advance, well before this kicked off. And I agree, Squirrel, they should be blaming their own president, but they're not going to because it's a stupidly run country, unfortunately. And that's where we're at. Politics getting involved in football. We all fucking love it. We all hate it, don't we? I love politics in football. I just want to watch football, enjoy football, and talk about football with you guys. But instead, we've got to deal with all this nonsense, man. Yeah, maybe they have waived quarantine for their own players, but that is totally unfair as well. Waive it for their own players and not waive it for Argentina's. That's ridiculously unfair and incredibly unsporting, isn't it? Like, you can't be doing that shit. So, Steffen can't play Jessica because he's got COVID. So, unfortunately, it's as simple as that. Stephen can play in goal because he's a catch. I'll take that. I was a good goalkeeper as a kid. True story, I was. Is it Bolsonaro or the Brazilian FA? It's Brazilian FA, Alfie, but it's kind of both, man. It's like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and the rules are set about travel and isolation by the government, and then the Brazilian. It's all very pettily handled over there, basically. And Steffen isn't available because he has COVID, unfortunately. So it's going to be Scott Carson. Scott Carson's the one and only. He's our goalie. That was terrible, but I made it up. I'll get my gloves on, man. He's our goalie. Somebody tells me JSG's a good goalie. I had no idea, man. Carson, the next best thing, or Richard Wright is going to be the worst season of internationals. Richard Wright is retired, so maybe Richard Wright gets his goalkeeper gloves on. Can they register him last minute? It's Scott Carson season anyway. The meme has become true, unfortunately. We're going to have to just ride it out and see what happens. I'm not liking it, but this is where we are. Please, as well, if you don't mind, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. As you may have noticed, I took a few days off videos as well because, if I'm being honest, very, very run down recently. Very, very tired. Chest been hurting quite a bit as well for whatever reason. Don't know. I decided to just take a few days. Okay, Thomas, you're getting annoyed. Democratically elected. I mean, I think we'll disagree on that, and I think a lot of people would disagree on that as well with Bolsonaro. He's not. We'll see. Either way, the guy's an absolute fucking arsehole. Legal or not, he's an awful person, Bolsonaro. That's my personal opinion, and you can disagree if you want to. I don't fundamentally care, Thomas or Kalman. Bolsonaro is an absolute nut job. Carson wasn't seeing the pictures of training yesterday or today. That's interesting. Oh, God. Don't start that either, Brillo. Get Nicky Weaver out of retirement. Maybe. We've got options there. Either way, this is going to be a very, very, very interesting weekend, isn't it? Good for you, Thomas. You vote in that election, man. Couldn't give a shit. Your leader's a dick. That's all I will say. An awful person. Called everyone cowards, didn't he, for being upset about COVID, didn't he? Didn't he call that? Didn't he say everyone should stop moaning about COVID when you've got about 200,000 people dead over there? Yeah. Call everyone, just stop moaning, get on with it, as he says, as the graves pile up. That's what Bolsonaro did. He's a monster. And if you voted for him, well, you really need to reassess yourself. Carson saved 50% of his pens under Pep. That will do. Anyway, I won't go towards politics. The problem is, like, politics is inherently involved in this conversation. It just is, because politics is the reason why we're here right now. So it's hard not to involve. Slicker in. Yeah, I think Kieran Slicker will probably be on the bench. Bazzuno is fantastic as well. Bazzuno is a brilliant Bazzuno, basically. He's absolutely fantastic goalkeeper. But the only problem we've got Bazzuno is that, obviously, he's on loan. Because I can't stand the guy, Thomas. I absolutely can't stand the guy. I think it's corrupt as anything. You don't have to agree if you don't want to, man. But look, I know Bolsonaro sacked his chief medical officer and put in a soldier. You know, I literally know that's true, and you know that's true as well. He's a madman. Bazzuno's been absolutely incredible for Pompey so far. Yeah, he's a fantastic player. Okay, I'm gonna ban myself from talking about Bolsonaro because I can't stand the guy. Basically, either way, Manchester City, we've got a situation here. We'll see how it develops. We absolutely have to see how it develops. Mickey Van Sass, the FM legend, it's time to shine. Is he good in Football Manager, Mickey Van Sass? Well, there we go. Maybe it's his chance. Either way, this is not a good situation, you know. It's not a good situation. We're going to have to just deal with this and see how it goes down. I'm not feeling confident about it. I do think the clubs would probably just accept it. According to a tweet by City Extra, City's options this week are Scott Carson, Kieran Slicker, 18, and Mickey Van Sass, who was 17. That's interesting. So Scott Carson, Kieran Slicker, and Mickey Van Sass. Interesting. They are not the options that you want if you're going to be, if you're going to be basically trying to win a game against Leicester. For what it's worth, I think Leicester also without a few players. They haven't got Soyuncu, I think, for Farner as well. I don't think even Evans travelled because he was a bit injured as well. They've got a few centre backs out, so hopefully we use this as a chance to get our revenge. I think the lat's back in trading, Adam, as well, so we'll have to see. It's going to be very, very interesting. Maybe I did call him a dictator, Thomas. I apologise. I can't prove it, but, you know, the definition and the lines are very interesting for most people, aren't they? Maybe even if he's not, I would call him a bit of a fascist. I would do. I'm sorry. Either way, what are your thoughts on De Bruyne and Foden coming back? And in positive news, seeing, obviously, De Bruyne and Foden back in training is wonderful stuff, man. It's the kind of shit that you all want to see, isn't it? You all want to see this good stuff. I'm going to go onto City's accounts now because I do like Foden. We don't forget how good Foden is, but I think the world forgets how good Foden is. He's like the guy is the real deal, man. He's absolutely world class, Foden. I genuinely believe he's not real class. He's very close to it, and he's one of the best young players in world football. I can't wait to watch him. I can't wait to see him again back in training. And I'm gonna jump over now and go over here. I mean, look at these pictures. Oh, it's wonderful. Kevin De Bruyne back in training. You know, of course, we got Jesus, obviously, now banned as well. There was a Phil Foden little clip as well. Has it gone? I don't know. Where's the Phil Foden clip training? It was class. I think it was on their Instagram, actually, I reckon. But there you go. Look at this. It's like FIFA. Phil Foden just playing FIFA there. I'm a big fan of that. It looks like a FIFA training session. But I can't wait for him back. I can't wait to be back on the pitch as well. Watching Foden and Grealish and De Bruyne together, it's going to be so smooth. So smooth. Back doing his thing, indeed. Didn't be able to just play videos like this on a timeline. My old laptop would just be like stuttered. Now everything works absolutely fine. I love it. I'm very happy about this. Guys, either way, that is your update. Just to summarise where we're at with this. It's all very messy. It's all very legal. It's all very political. To summarise, if you are just joining the stream, Ederson and Gabriel Jesus and other Brazilian players affected by the likes of Rafinha at Leeds and Alisson at Liverpool and Fred at United, they won't be able to play this weekend because Manchester City and Liverpool and, you know, Leeds and United said their players couldn't leave to international duty. Brazil have kicked off and asked FIFA to invoke a rule which bans a play for 5 days if clubs refuse to release them for international duty. Because Manchester City are governed by FIFA in the larger scheme of things, unfortunately, I think the club are going to just take it, which is a bit of a shame. The reason Manchester City didn't release the Brazilian players is because if they went to Brazil and came back, they would have to isolate for 10 days due to COVID laws in this country, due to Brazil being on the red list. So there you go, true enough. I've answered your question. I could not explain it any clearer than that. Essentially, Brazil have asked FIFA to ban these players because the clubs refuse to release them, and that's an automatic rule that's written there that the clubs knew about, I think. I think the clubs apparently are going to appeal it and try, but either way, I think this might happen. To send a point, because I think FIFA will probably be on the club side, even though it's ridiculous, because FIFA wants their players to play. Guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment and all the usual stuff. It's mad, absolutely mad. I will be back tomorrow for another video, of course, and I might be live later over at twitch.tv/Esteemed Kompany. Big love to every single one of you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to this video a like. I've got to go and get ready to get this flat tidy because someone's coming to view it because it's available for sale because we're moving soon. For now, it's pretty tidy anyway, if I'm being honest. For now, though, have a wonderful day. I'm absolutely sweating my ass off here. It's really hot. It's boiling today, Manchester. Might not look it, but it really is. I'll see you all very soon. In a bit. See you later, guys.